13 years at this point. We don't let him go. He's been a volunteer. He's been the regional director that helped expand from one region to 2 regions. He then continued as a regional director of Northern Virginia, and he is now, over the past few years, he's been a regional council member. So Jim, to come up to honor our second honorees.
Well, it's my privilege and it is my pleasure to be able to introduce you to John and Mariann Horejsi. John and Mariann have demonstrated their dedication to the Christian values that IVC treasures: service to people who are poor, social justice, and spiritual growth. Mariann, on the one hand, has dedicated herself to direct service in many different ways: to the Christ House for Homeless in Alexandria, to her library in Vienna, to the Western Fairfax Christian Food Bank, to a hypothermia program which touches her heart very much, and a number of other volunteer opportunities that she has taken up over the last 3-4 decades. And while Mariann was engaged with direct service, John was employed at the Department of Health and Human Services, and there he became increasingly aware of the need for a voice and an advocate for people who are poor, people who are marginalized, people who are voiceless. And so in 1983, he acted on that awareness and founded the social action linking together SALT. Today, SALT is a faith-based network of over 1,200 Northern Virginians who support passage of legislation related to affordable housing, to hunger relief, to tax relief for working people, to humane treatment for people who are incarcerated. 2 weeks ago in Vienna, SALT organized its annual Richmond wrap-up, which was attended by nearly 100 of the SALT members and more than a dozen Virginia legislators. As a SALT member, I was there too, and I heard our Virginia Senator, Chap Peterson, tell us that Luke's gospel admonition to care for the oppressed summarizes what this organization, SALT, is all about, and what a lot of us legislators, Peterson said, are trying to bring to our service in the legislature. Delegate Mark Keem said that SALT advocates are the conscience of Virginia. He went on to say that you remind us why we do what we do. The reason all of us are in public service, regardless of political party, is to make a difference in other people's lives. Clearly, John's steadfast, nonpartisan advocacy as the founder and coordinator of SALT for these 32 years, in coalition with like-minded organizations, has helped to improve the lives of tens of thousands of people who have no voice in the public arena. Congratulations and thanks for your leadership and advocacy, John. Thanks for your direct service, Mariann. Let's give it up for John and Mariann. It's my great pleasure to provide John and Mariann with the Della Strada Award. I do that on behalf of the Regional Council and all of IBC. Can you imagine 32 years? When people ask me how I would characterize John, I have to say the first virtue is persistence. And I think he's going to have a little story to tell you that will very aptly demonstrate that persistence.
Thank you for this award. Oops. You can tell I don't do this often. Thank you for this award. I've told Joni several times that I feel very unworthy to receive this award. Many people do much more than I do to try to make this world better and to help people in need. I do what I do to bring God's kingdom a little closer. And in the process, I probably help myself most of all, to be energized in my older age and to feel better about myself and about the meaningfulness of my life. When I am out there helping and being with people, I feel useful and good. It's that simple. Most of all, I am happy this evening because you are honoring John. John is a true gentleman, kind and so good to me and our family. I have accomplished a lot in life, but my biggest accomplishment was marrying John. I really love God supremely blessed me. John has pretty much dedicated his life to fighting for the least of these, from moms and kids who are barely making it to prisoners in jail. My job is to give him the time and the freedom to do what he needs to do, and then pull him away from it to ensure that he relaxes and recharges. Your award could not have gone to a more deserving person in terms of the years that John has worked on justice issues, the depth of his commitment to what he works on, and the accomplishments that SALT has had. Lastly, John and I take very seriously Jesus' command to be workers in God's kingdom, and by our efforts to help bring about a little more of the kingdom to this earth. Me by working directly with those who need help, and John by cajoling those in power to not forget who need the system to work better for them. We are doing what little we can to be Jesus out there and to do justice and show mercy. Thank you for honoring what we have tried to do, and therefore for honoring the many individuals who have worked with us and stood with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Those are really big feet to fill. I'm honored to be here, and I'm so thankful for the Ignatian spirituality. In particular, thank you, Jim, for the beautiful introduction and for nominating me. I know you were behind this. And we're thankful, especially because we have a Ignatian volunteer, Bob Stewart, who is just incredible, and we're so thankful for that. So much of what we accomplish is due to his incredible and capable support and his compassion.
Joni, to you and the regional council, we're very thankful. And for all the advocates here today from SALT, social justice people, friends of social justice, friends of Ignatian volunteers, and Father, what a great Mass. I haven't been to such a spirited Mass since last summer when I went to the Polka Mass in Beckton, Minnesota. And, I'll tell you, my nephew is a pastor there, and he says one hell of a polka man. So, to those of us who are with SALT, this award is very, very significant because of our legislative advocacy and our community activism, which are part of your job descriptions. We recommend it to you as part of your job description. As SALT advocates, we take our inspiration from the tiny church that we stop at on the way from Richmond on the very dangerous trip to Richmond on 95. And it's a break, but there's a beautiful little church there. And it's so tiny, but it has a big sign above the door, and the sign says, "Enter to worship, leave to serve." And I think that is the appeal of our organization. The faith community needs to move beyond charity and to get involved. Our appeal is for people to get out of the pew and into the lobby, and to be a voice for the voiceless. We all have a voice, but what good is it unless we use it? So we agree with Margaret Mead that there is no greater insight into the future than recognizing when we save our children, we save ourselves. You know, Virginia is #1 for business, according to Forbes magazine. So why isn't Virginia #1 for kids? We're on a race to the bottom. For example, it took us 15 years every year of struggle to get a very modest cost of living increase for the kids on welfare. And it's just outrageous because we're such a wealthy state. We believe in the words of Mother Teresa that we are called not to be successful so much as to be faithful. I want to leave you with this thought. We must believe in the kind of community values that can be summarized in the words of a well-known quote. All of us owe to those who came before us and to those who will come after us, that each of us has drunk from wells that we did not dig, that each of us has been warmed by fires that we did not build. We were taught that at our best, we can make ours a world where the powerful are more just and the poor are more secure. It was these values that made it possible for me to take my place in life and to become an advocate for others. I am so proud to be honored today, and Mariann too, and I'm very touched by your recognition, and thank you. And I want to acknowledge that in the early days of SALT, somebody that really helped me was Jerry Creedon. Thank you. Give him a round.